This is an algebra video on basic factorisation. So here's my first example. So my instruction is to factorise and the expression is 3x squared plus 2x. So I want to have a look at these two terms and see what they have in common. I can see that they both contain an x, so this is what I'll factorise out. Now when I'm filling into my brackets, I need to have a think, what would I need to multiply by x to get my 3x squared in my original expression? Well, x by 3x is 3x squared. X by 3x is 3x squared. So it's 3x that I should fill in. What about for the second position of my bracket? What would I multiply by x to get plus 2x? Well, in this case, it would be plus 2. So I fill that in. So when I factorise 3x squared plus 2x, I get x bracket 3x plus 2. Basic factorisation just means taking out what the terms have in common and writing it in front of a bracket. This time I want to factorise 3ax plus 6bx. Pause the video here and see if you can complete this yourself, and then play and check if you're correct. In this case, I need to look at my coefficients and my variables. So 3 and 6, do they have a common factor? And then do I have a common variable between my two terms? So there is a common factor for 3 and 6. 3 goes into both of them. So 3 is definitely going to go on the outside of my bracket. And when I have a look, I also have a variable in common, which is x in this case. That's all I can take out, so then I put my bracket. Okay, what should I multiply by 3x to get 3ax? In this case, it's a. What would I multiply by 3x to get 6bx? Well, that would be plus 2b. Notice that I don't just write 2b, I need to write plus 2b in order to link the terms inside my bracket together. Example 3 asks me to factorise 10x squared minus 4xy. Again, pause the video here and try this yourself and then play and see if you got it right. So I look at my two terms, and first of all I look at the coefficients 10 and 4 and think, do they have any common factors? And then I have a look at my variables and see, do I have anything that repeats between my terms? So 10 and 4 can both be divided by 2, so 2 is a common factor for those. And x occurs in both my terms, so I'll write x down also. That's everything these two terms have in common, so now I'll open my brackets. Now I want to fill the correct terms into the bracket, so let's think, what should I multiply by 2x to get 10x squared? Well, 2 by 5 to get the 10, and x by x to get the x squared, so 5x will go in the bracket. And then what should I multiply by 2x to get minus 4xy? Well, I notice first of all that it's a negative, so since the 2x out here is positive, I'm going to need a negative in here. 2 by 2 is 4, so I'll put 2 in. The x is already accounted for, and the y needs to go in here. 2x by minus 2y gives minus 4xy. So in example 4, we have the instruction to factorise 3a squared b plus 12abc minus 6ac squared. This time there's three terms, but the approach is still the same. I look through each of the three, I compare their coefficients and see is there a common factor. I compare their variables and see is there anything in common. And then I write those on the outside. So 3, 12 and 6, well, 3 will go into each of those, so that'll go on the outside. And looking at the variables, a occurs in every single one of these terms, so a can go outside, and then I'm going to open my brackets. Now I look at each term and see what I would need to multiply by 3a to create it. So 3a by something will give 3a squared b, so I need a and b. 3a by what will give 12abc? Well, that will be 4bc. And finally, what would I need to multiply 3a by to get minus 6ac squared? Well, minus 2c squared in this case.